I mean, look at that before and after photo. When I first put these side by side, I could not believe it. Could not believe it. Now, this is not the first time that I've had a radical before and after transformation with a workout program. But the big difference here is the before and afters I've had before, where I had really good results, I wasn't feeling great. I was super hungry. I was super achy. I just knew it was only a matter of time till I slipped back into old habits. So as great as that before and after photo is, what's more unbelievable than that is that I'm not dieting. I have a cookie when I feel like a cookie. I have a glass of wine a few nights a week. I really just intuitively eat. I eat when I'm hungry and I eat what I want. And still, I can look this way. I think it's important to distinguish this because whenever we're seeking something, we're not so much seeking a thing, we're seeking the feeling that comes with that thing. So I could even tell you right now that you have an extra $50,000 in the bank, and how just by thinking that you have an extra sum of money in the bank, you feel so much better about it. But your direct circumstances have not changed at all. You're really just seeking the feeling that comes with financial freedom.
Hey, yo, I'm so rich, my homies take showers for me. I got you, homie.
Which is why during the times that I did end up getting a figure I liked, I didn't always have a great feeling to accompany it because it wasn't sustainable, and I knew that. My point there is, yes, the after photo is fantastic, but even more fantastic, I actually feel the way I look in that photo. I feel great. I'm gonna cover a lot today that would bring value to anyone, so I encourage you to watch it to the end. I'm gonna cover where I was at when I took that before photo, what the conditions were, how I progressed with Tracey Anderson's Metamorphosis program, and tips I uncovered along the way, either on my own or even from the comments from so many of you. That was very, very helpful. And then lastly, I'm gonna cover other things I'm doing that I think are contributing to the results. So now that you know what you're getting into, who am I? Well, my name is Rachel, and I create content around the things I'm doing that are actually making a difference in my life and my well-being. For so long, I put off creating and living my dream life to the future as something that really was evasive. And I've made the conscious decision to make that dream life, that dream well-being happen now. So if that resonates with you and you want to stay in tune with what I'm doing to make that happen, would love for you to subscribe. And of course, hit the notification bell so you'll be in tune each time I release a video. So let's jump into it, starting with the before photo. That picture was taken around the time that I had resumed circuit training or high intensity interval training. I had paused doing HIIT training because I was recovering from a surgery. And during that recovery time, I really couldn't do the workouts I had done in the past. And instead, I resorted to walking. It was really just a way for me to manage myself.
Eat bread, desserts, and just get all fat and sassy.
And just reduce the chance that I would just gain a ton of weight during those 6 weeks that I had to recover. And what I ended up finding was that I actually liked my physique more when I was walking than I did doing HIIT training basically daily. Even though I liked my physique so much more when I was walking, I really missed the HIIT training that I was doing. I missed the endorphin rush, and I thought that maybe the reason why I liked the results of walking so much more was because I was eating more mindfully. I knew that I wasn't getting as much activity and I had to be more careful. So I was being more selective and making sure that I was honoring my hunger cues more so than when I was doing HIIT training. So in that before photo that you see, I actually was a month back into circuit training. I was going daily. There had to be a reason why I looked so much better when I was only walking. So that's where I was at in that before photo. And it was around that time I decided to go back to a more low impact workout, walking, and I wanted to supplement it with a type of plan. I've had success in the past with plans like Bikini Body Guide, where there was a plan that built up over time. I knew that I needed some level of structure, but I knew I didn't want the intensity. So I learned about Tracey Anderson's Metamorphosis program through Busbee's Style. And that's a YouTube channel where a woman shares all sorts of style advice. And she also shared how she got in shape in her 40s. And this was using Tracey Anderson Metamorphosis. In that video, she also shared that she had tried Bikini Body Guide. And And in her venture with that, it actually made her look bigger. It made her muscles bigger. Now, this is the whole premise of Tracey Anderson's method, as she calls it, where instead of focusing on those large muscle groups like common workouts do, she actually focuses on what she calls accessory muscles. These are smaller muscles that actually won't add bulk to your physique, but do help you in that fat burning process. Now, if you haven't heard of Metamorphosis before, it's a program designed by Tracey Anderson, which takes into account your body type. So there is a quiz, which I will link in the description notes, where you can identify if you're more of an apple-shaped body type, more of an hourglass-shaped body type, more of a pear-shaped, and based on your body type, there's a different program you can do. And it really makes sense because if you were to look at a room full of people, everyone may have different problem areas that they want to address, and the approach they take could be vastly different. So for each of the workout programs she has based on your body type, there are 9 levels within each. And you actually commit to doing each level for 10 days, going level 1 for 10 days, and then level 2 for 10 days, until you get to level 9, which you do for 10 days. And then she has a program even after that to continue. And the idea here is that you're constantly challenging your body, you are just improving over time. Now, in addition to that workout program that's based on your body type, and each workout really just takes 30 minutes, so you're looking at 30 minutes of that metamorphosis a day. In addition to that, she has a dance cardio program, which is also about 30 minutes. And she recommends you do both daily. Now, you can, of course, have rest days, but you're looking at about an hour a day. And when watching the Busbee style video, she shared that she actually doesn't do the cardio portion of it. She doesn't do the dance cardio. She shared that she has a busy lifestyle, and she found that she got plenty of results just doing the Metamorphosis program alone. And I decided I would take that approach too, just because 30 minutes was very reasonable for me. I was still walking now and then, but over time, I was finding that I was walking less and less and really just prioritizing metamorphosis. When I began doing the workouts, I was so surprised at how challenging they could be without hurting my joints, without requiring all sorts of equipment, and getting it done in just 30 minutes. In Metamorphosis, all you need are 3-pound weights, but from some of the comments that I've received on other videos I've done around Metamorphosis, some will even add ankle weights and use that during the workouts, which is something I will certainly look towards. I can imagine that is extremely challenging because without weights on my ankles, it burns like crazy. So during the first few months of Metamorphosis, I really made it a priority, so much so that even when I had to go on a holiday trip, I actually brought my 3-pound weights with me and continued doing it even in a hotel room. It's very easy to fit in. And like I said, I was only doing the Metamorphosis Abcentric workouts daily. But over time, I became convinced, especially with so many comments that you all left, that it was really worthwhile to give the dance cardio a shot. There was even a comment from a viewer that shared that before she actually had to have chemo treatment, she was committed to Tracey Anderson's Metamorphosis and that she loved her body more than ever. That comment and so many others really encouraged me to make time for the cardio portion. With so many comments encouraging me to give the dance cardio a shot, it really got me thinking that I was only doing half of the program, and that if I really wanted to give it the old college try, I should be fully in it. And that's when I began including the dance cardio daily in addition to Metamorphosis. And I can attest that it made a dramatic difference. I would describe it as Irish dancing with arms. There is a lot of jumping around, but if you can listen to your own music, it really just becomes a kind of mindless activity. It's really not too bad. It does get boring at times, as does the Tracey Anderson Metamorphosis program get boring, but you just have to have some systems in place to make it fun for you. Whenever I find myself avoiding it, I just think it's only 30 minutes. Just get your AirPods in, get some good tunes going, and just get it done. By doing the dance cardio my results really took off. And I think that has to do with that kind of compounding effect. Even though it's just 30 minutes, you do 30 minutes over a week and how many additional hours you're getting as far as your fitness. And it really wasn't too challenging. It really hasn't been bad on my joints, thankfully, and it's very reasonable. So I was just able to elevate my progress that much more by incorporating that. Now, I realize that that is going to get old doing the same dance cardio all the time. So I plan on incorporating spin classes now and then, as I actually have been, and even walking when it makes sense too, so that I'm changing it up and keeping it fun. But make no mistake, especially when you're pressed for time, that 30-minute dance cardio is fantastic. So with that 30 minutes of metamorphosis and the 30 minutes of cardio, I typically fit it in at one point of the day. Usually it's at the end of the workday where I just need to let off some steam, and I will do them back to back. Now, when I know that maybe I won't be able to make it the end of the day, I will maybe do 30 minutes of one in the morning and then 30 minutes between meetings or at my lunch hour. I do work from home, so I do have that convenience. But I find it's most convenient to do them both back to back so that then I can just take one shower and be done with it. You may be wondering how often I actually do metamorphosis and that dance cardio, and I average about 5 times a week. Typically there's one day in the week where I just haven't gotten it done, and then maybe there's a day during the weekend I haven't done it. So on average about 5 times a week now. If you're going to give metamorphosis a true shot, highly recommend that you bite the bullet and give the dance cardio a chance. What's so great about it too is I feel leaner after I do both of those workouts. Whereas with HIIT training, I'd often feel like my muscles were swollen. I felt like I was larger out of the workout because they were swollen. Whereas this, it's kind of like ending a yoga workout where you feel longer and leaner. And I think that's what's really helped me continue this and stick to it, is because it's very encouraging when you feel great about your body after a workout versus defeated and fluffy. Another tip from a viewer of the other Metamorphosis videos I created was to actually take notes of the amount of reps per workout in a given level. And the reason why that's helpful is you may be on the ground doing a workout where you're facing the ground. To look up, like you could even see in my living room, can kind of kink your neck. And you can really set yourself up for success if, instead of looking at Tracy to see when she's done with the move, because unfortunately she doesn't give indicators of when the move is done, you would actually be able to count the reps on your own. And by the time you've done these levels multiple times, you end up kind of knowing what's coming next. So by taking note of how many reps per exercise there are, you can then still follow along Tracy, but you're not constantly looking up like, oh my gosh, when is she going to be done? That was a great tip from a viewer, so thank you for that. Another random way to avoid kinking your neck that I've come up with is using my phone as a type of mirror. And the reason why this is helpful is, especially with the newer iPhones, in the lens, it's so much wider, and you're actually able to capture your background and even your own body with your camera. And in that way, you're kind of using it like a mirror. So I will have my camera facing myself. I will see myself on screen. I will also see the Metamorphosis DVD going on in the background. That way I can follow along with Tracy, but I'm not looking behind me, or I'm not kinking my neck up. My phone is right in front of me. You can also do that as a way to just follow along in the video and watch yourself as you do it. Again, using your phone as kind of a mirror. And earlier on, I don't know that I would have liked that so much, but you'll notice over time, you'll get more definition in your body. You'll look leaner, especially as these exercises are very lengthening, and it makes it easier to engage in the workout when you're looking at yourself and following along with the DVD. Oddly enough, using your phone as a mirror, or even just a mirror to view yourself as you work out, is a great way to turn an otherwise mundane activity into something that you're really engaged in. And that's been very helpful for me. Now, each time I began a new level of metamorphosis, I found that there were certain exercises that were particularly difficult, super challenging. And during those times, I wanted to quit, but I really just had to talk myself through it. come on, baby, we're almost there. This is going to feel so great once you get to admire yourself in the mirror. I mean, all sorts of pep talk. And eventually, as I went day by day, reaching 10 days for that particular level, what once was super difficult actually became enjoyable, oddly enough. So I share that in the event that you find yourself reaching the same thing. Know that with each day you do the workout, it actually gets easier over time because you're getting stronger. Another thing I would remind myself constantly is that it's only 30 minutes. I can get through this 30 minutes. Another thing you can do if you want to get yourself through these workouts is you can actually be on the phone or FaceTime while you're working out through it. And it's very random, but actually just today I was doing a Tracey Anderson Metamorphosis workout and my sister FaceTimed me and her and I were catching up and I just wanted to continue my workout. And she said, I thought that Tracey Anderson's workouts were kind of like a bar class, but oh my gosh, you are really sweating. And she even continued to comment about how much leaner I was looking. And I even said, I feel like I'm just getting more leaner, more toned, and kind of looking like what reminds me of a teenager that just seems to have a fast metabolism. And for me, that's the look I'm going for. I just want to look naturally lean and I want to look good in my clothes. I want to be able to admire myself. That's my goal. And if I'm still going to have a little bit of belly fat, which I do, it's really not that big of a deal, especially when it means that I can still enjoy the foods that I love, have a reasonable workout, and really feel great. Now that I've reached level 9, which is the last level of Metamorphosis, I will continue on with her next program of Metamorphosis. But I also realize that this is likely to get really old. And I plan on working in yoga classes and spin classes and Pilates, things that really feel good on my body and really coincide with the kind of Tracey Anderson metamorphosis of lengthening and leaning, things that make me feel great. Now, there are a lot more other tips that I share in my other Tracey Anderson metamorphosis videos. I'll be sure to link those and include that. And if you are looking at getting started with metamorphosis, would highly recommend you watch those videos too. Whether you choose to go with or stick with Tracey Anderson or not, there are a few other tips that have really helped me along the way, and that may even be contributing to the results I have. One of them is a newer supplement I've been taking called Catalyst Gold, and there are all sorts of wonderful ingredients in there that help with digestion, skin, energy, and it has been a holy grail product that I'm so surprised there are no YouTube reviews on. So I will link that as well. That's really just helped me with my energy, staying motivated, and again, my digestion, my skin, all the above is much better with that supplement. Another thing I've been doing that's been so very helpful with my results is prioritizing my sleep. Or when I was doing HIIT classes every day, I would go early in the morning. And some nights I would get enough sleep. Most of the time I wouldn't. And I know that it impacted my hormone levels and really was just working against my progress I was seeking. So prioritizing sleep has certainly helped. Of course, consistency goes a very long way, and because I have been able to work this in my schedule relatively seamlessly, I've been able to be consistent. And there's a saying that one of my friends says, which is, the only bad workout is the one you didn't do. So even if it means that I'm only doing metamorphosis or only doing dance cardio, I make it a point to be consistent and get something in. Respecting my hunger has also made a dramatic difference in my physique. I really make it a point to only eat when I'm hungry. And of course, I've made a video on that, which I'll also link, but you can see that this all very much ties in. And then lastly, a very important topic that I think deserves a video in its own right is making it a habit to admire your body. And what I mean by that is, for so many of us, we've gotten in the habit of looking in the mirror and seeking out what we don't like. And in the world of law of attraction and the power of thinking, by doing that, we end up creating more of what we don't like. And I've made it a point now that when I go to take a shower, I use that time to admire myself and really compliment myself and really feel good about myself. And that really has allowed me to be patient in the journey and seeing the results versus seeking out a quick fix, which I know will be as quickly lost as it is gained. So making it a habit to admire your body will allow you the room to even see more reasons to admire your body, and that has been very powerful. As I said earlier, when we're seeking a body type, most of the time it's not really the thing, that body type, that end result we're seeking. It's the feeling we believe will accompany that. We think that if I have a body that looks good, I'm going to feel good about me. But in my experience, there have been times where I took shortcuts to get that body, or I was really hardcore about it. And yeah, I looked thin, or I looked in a way I wanted to, but I was miserable inside. So it's really important to underline that not only are you looking for a physique, but more importantly, you're looking for the feeling that goes with that. And this approach is very reasonable. I can't say it's a quick fix. It's something that you have to be committed to. But there's a saying I love, which is go slow to go fast. So if you lose weight quickly, you'll gain it just as quickly, if not quicker. But if you adapt the lifestyle and you're patient and you use those things like admiring your body in the process, then it's that much more fun and that much more sustainable. I realize that this can get boring, so I'll do things like switching it up now and then. But for the most part, I think that this approach is really well suited for me and many others. So we covered a lot in the video today, and I really hope it brought you value. We covered where I was at when I started, which was somebody that was doing chronic HIIT training, and it really wasn't giving me the results I wanted. I shared how I progressed over time. I started by just doing Metamorphosis only, and then I really realized that actually adding dance cardio could make a dramatic difference, as it did. And then I shared the other factors that I think have contributed to my body type. One of them being that my lifestyle is sustainable. It's not these highs and lows, these dramatic ups and downs. This is really my lifestyle now. So if you have any questions or comments you'd like to share about your experience with Tracey Anderson, I read all of them and I'm so thankful for each one. So would love to see that below. If you get nothing else out of this video, I hope you at least see the possibility that you can actually have the physique you want without torturing yourself. So if you found this video helpful and you want to see future content that I'm putting together, would love for you to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much, and until the next one.